What's up, everyone? It's Ben from the Vinyl Jukebox, and it's that time of year again. The Record Store Day Black Friday list has been revealed, and we're going to go through it right now. But before we get started, please be sure to leave a like and a comment below this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. So this is really the first time that I'm looking at the Black Friday 2024 Record Store Day list. So this is really going to be my first take on it. I'm not going to go through everything. I'm just going to go through some titles that stand out to me and talk about them as much as I know about them and just, what looks interesting to me. So if you see anything on the list that I haven't gone through, write about it in the comments below. Maybe I missed something. I'll also put a link to the list down below. So if you want to check out the list for yourself, you'll be able to do that. All right, so first thing that I see here on the list, we have Big Brother and the Holding Company, live at the Grand Ballroom, Detroit, 1968. So prime Janis Joplin, black double vinyl. So I'm just going through the Record Store Day exclusives first. Record Store Day first, I'm not really that interested in because, as we know, those will be released again at a later time. So the exclusives are really the ones that you should look for in terms of picking up this Record Store Day. What else do we have here? Cypress Hill, live at Rockland Park. I'm pretty sure Cypress Hill does Record Store Day releases pretty frequently. That's going to be limited to 2,000 copies. Don't think I'll pick that one up, but looks pretty interesting. That one's also being released on CD. What else here? Oh, this looks pretty cool. So the Doors always release something on Record Store Day. The Doors live in Detroit. When is this from? This is from May 8th, 1970, available on 4LP for the first time. Includes some tracks, blues covers, I'm a King Bee, Backdoor Man, Crossroads. So, this is really that period of the Doors where they were getting very bluesy. So, pretty cool release right there. I always love live Doors a little more than just studio Doors. All right, moving on along here, Bill Evans. We always get our Bill Evans release for Record Store Day. This one is live in Norway, in Kongsberg, 1970. Never before released performance, 4,500 copies. Looks like a pretty cool release. Bill Evans' stuff is always really good. Jazz release, of course. Next up, Grateful Dead. Now, as you guys know, I've been in a big Grateful Dead phase lately, so I'm really going to consider picking this up. This is from 1977. This is live at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, New Haven, Connecticut. Limited to 4,500 copies. These usually stick around after Record Store Day, so it's not really a big rush to pick these up. They're usually a little pricey, but you are getting 4 LPs, so not too bad. I'm probably guessing it'll be around $100, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. But looking at the track list here, you have Promised Land, Sugary, Mama Tried, Peggy O, Bertha, Good Lovin', Johnny Be Good, Sugar Magnolia. So you get a pretty decent set here. Haven't heard this set before. It's probably been released in other forms, but mastered by Jeffrey Norman and produced by David Lemieux, of course. All right, moving on along here. I'm just looking for some titles that stand out to me. We have a Herbie Hancock here. Jimi Hendrix, Songs for Groovy Children, the Fillmore East concerts. This stood out to me, especially when looking at that, because I know that this has been released as a bigger box set on CD and vinyl. This is 4,500 copies, and it looks like this is just highlights from this concert. This is an awesome concert. I don't have it, but I've streamed it. But we have 5 songs, 2 of which are probably, well, actually, they're probably all extended with jams and all that. Special edition on Blue and Violet Swirl vinyl. Cool. Mastered by Bernie Grundman. Very cool. And like I said, 4,500 copies. So I might pick that one up. That one looks pretty cool, especially since I don't have the box set. And it is pretty pricey unless I decide to get the CD version. John Lee Hooker. I picked up his last... I don't remember if I picked up the Record Store Day release or the Record Store Day Black Friday release, but John Lee Hooker, this is Don't Turn Me From Your Door. I don't really know anything about this title. This looks like a studio album, but Always good getting some John Lee Hooker blues. What's cool about this title is it doesn't have like the standards on it, boom boom and all that, like what you would expect from a John Lee Hooker release. These all look like pretty deep tracks in his catalog, so really cool. Quantity is going to be 2,000 copies for that one. This next one I know my wife is very excited about. Jane's Addiction, Imminent Redemption. This is a 12-inch single, limited to 2,500 copies. And these are the two tracks that they just released with their kind of reunion cut short because of the big conflict between Perry Farrell and Dave. Is this the last release that we get from Jane's Addiction? Maybe. But in any event, we're getting this for Black Friday. It's just 2 songs. You get Imminent Redemption and True Love. And what's cool about this one that I'm reading here, the inner sleeve has art and lyrics, and a number of randomly distributed copies are autographed by 1 or more band members. So if you're watching this video later on around Black Friday and you do get a copy that's been signed, please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to try my best to get that. I mean, who knows? We'll see, but that would be awesome. I know that this was released as a 7-inch during their shows, very limited during their tour that got cut short. So it's cool that this is getting a wider release, and this is an exclusive, so this is probably the only time that that'll be happening. This one stood out to me. Jazz Sabbath, we have the 1968 tapes. Now, Jazz Sabbath is really cool. If you haven't checked it out, it's the longtime Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne keyboard player Adam Wakeman, and he does jazz renditions of Black Sabbath songs. So this one looks like it's both regular studio tracks and alternate mixes, bonus tracks from the 2 albums that they came out with before. 2,500 copies. So this is a cool release. These usually are pretty hard to find during Record Store Day. I know I looked for the last release and I couldn't get it when it came out. So if I see it, I'll probably pick it up. All right, moving on along here, we have Lamb of God. If you're into metal, this is a live show, live in Richmond, Virginia. I think that's where they're from. Not sure. Live stream, hometown live stream during lockdown. Oh, okay. So it's a live stream performance and hometown. So yes, they are from Richmond, Virginia. Very cool. All right, moving on along here. Steve Martin King Tut picture disc. Wow. Okay. Oh, we can make that a little bigger there. Wow, I didn't know Steve Martin played guitar. That looks like it might be kind of funny. This one I'm very excited for. This is probably one of my top pickups. This is Duff McKagan, bass player from Guns N' Roses, live at Easy Street Records. Now, I heard about this show. Here's a bigger picture of that. I heard about this show. This occurred earlier this year with his in promotion for his his solo album. And this is going to be limited to 1,200 copies, so it might be a little more difficult to get. This show, from what I've heard, was really good. Not only playing songs from his new album, but songs from previous solo albums, including his very first one. So I'm really excited about that. And this is definitely one that I'm going to line up for because as a huge Guns N' Roses fan, I definitely have to have it. I'm going to see Duff in November anyway, so this will be right after I see him in New York City, so really cool. All right, next one. This one looks like fun. I might pick this one up because this looks awesome. Merry Marvel Marching Band. Now, I'm really into Marvel comics. This might be kind of cheesy. 6,000 copies. Comes with a poster. It was a fan club release in 1964. So, kind of cool. Might be fun to pick up. There's a few MF Doom releases. CD long box cassette. 2 LP of Operation Doomsday. I know there's a lot of MF Doom fans in the vinyl community, so that will be there for you. Stevie Nicks, The Lighthouse. This is a 7-inch single. I usually stay away from the 7-inch singles during Record Store Day just because they're usually pretty available after the fact. This one looks pretty cool. This is Pearl Jam, and it's being called Record Store Day Song of the Year, but after reading this, it looks like it's going to be 2 live tracks. Now, this is a 12-inch single, released 4,000 copies, so it's going to be pretty available, but knowing that it's Pearl Jam, it'll probably go pretty quickly. This is Waiting for Stevie Live and Wreckage Live, 2 tracks off their new album, so pretty cool. If I see it, I'll probably pick it up. Moving on along here, this is Rage Against the Machine. This is an EP, Democratic National Convention 2000. Might be kind of cool. That's like prime Rage Against the Machine. Ramones Greatest Hits. I probably won't get this one, but available as a first time on vinyl. So if you're into the Ramones and you need some greatest hits, that's there for you. All right, moving on along here. Just looking for things that stand out to me. This looks like fun. Snoop Dogg Live at Forest National 2005. This one might be a lot of fun. This is limited to 2,000 copies, featuring songs like Gin and Juice, Drop It Like It's Hot. This one looks like a lot of fun. I might have to pick this one up. I'm not usually a rap fan, but I love Snoop Dogg, so that might be fun. This one I'm really excited about. Definitely going to pick this one up. This is Stone Temple Pilots Purple Rarities. These are demos, early versions, acoustic versions of songs from the Purple sessions to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Purple. So that'll be really cool to pick that up. That's limited to 3,000 copies. Love Stone Temple Pilots. Next up here, let's see, just moving on through. Oh my gosh, look at this. SpongeBob SquarePants movie soundtrack. Music from the movie and more. It looks like it's not only music from the SpongeBob movie, but also from some episodes, limited to 6,000 copies. I definitely can see this being in the discount bins after Record Store Day. Because usually those kids' records don't do so well. All right, moving back here, I did miss this one. U2, How to Reassemble an Atomic Bomb. This is going to be limited to 20,000 copies, so if you can't pick this one up, maybe you're going to the wrong record store. Pressed on red and black vinyl. Collection of 10 songs taken from the original recording sessions. How to reassemble an atom bomb. How to dismantle an atomic bomb. Okay, so as you can see, I'm not a U2 fan, but bunch of demos from those sessions of that album, so looks pretty cool. Let me just make sure I'm moving back here and not missing anything. No, I don't think I did out of what I can talk about. Here we go. This looks really cool. This is Van Halen live in Dallas, 1991. This was actually just released, and you could see this in my last video. This was just released on the special edition of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, but this concert was released as a CD and a DVD included in that set. So it looks like they're releasing this as a 2 LP with an etched fourth side. And this is that Live in Dallas show. It's a great show. I might have to pick this up as a standalone release because, you know, it's on CD, but the live show is also on a CD with other demo tracks from the album. So you do have to skip a few if you just want to listen to the live show. Then you have the DVD, of course, but this is just a standalone vinyl release. So definitely thinking about picking this one up as well. I love how you're getting all this new Van Halen, all these new Van Halen releases or new old Van Halen releases, especially from the Sammy Hagar era. Really cool that we're getting all this material now. All right. Yes, Fragile outtakes for those prog fans out there. This is limited to 3,000 copies. It looks like just Steve Wilson mixes alternate versions of songs from their album Fragile. So awesome. All right, next up is some limited run releases, regional focus. So these might be a little more difficult to get depending on where you are. Out of what I see here, what stands out to me is I'm going to butcher this name, Jorma Kaukonen and Jack Cassidy, Hot Tuna, as you very probably know them. This is a CD release. I know that I saw a vinyl release a little earlier with the exclusives, but the CD is just going to be limited to 500. Might be a little more difficult to get. I don't know why they're labeling this as just Jorma and Jack as opposed to Hot Tuna. Oh, these were recorded before Jefferson Airplane, so before Hot Tuna. So I guess You can't call it hot tuna if it was before hot tuna. But it's essentially hot tuna, so that's really cool. It's early hot tuna before hot tuna even existed. So now I'm going to go through the Record Store Day first releases. And again, do not rush for these releases. Record Store Day first basically means that this will be released again as a wider release. It may not be released in this form, meaning if the vinyl is in a color variant, it might be just released as a black vinyl, but it will be released again. So this is nothing to rush over. First up here, Allman Brothers, Manley Fieldhouse. So live show, Syracuse, New York. Live recording, 2-disc set, orange and blue, limited to 5,000 copies. So pretty cool. Released from the Allman Brothers band. It looks like Asking Alexandria, metalcore band, has been releasing Record Store Day albums for the past few years now. Kind of interesting how they've kind of broken into that. But this is the album, The Black. Now, this is the only album that they made with, don't remember that singer's name. His name is Dennis something. It's when Danny Worsnop, their main singer, left the band. They recorded one album with a different singer. This is it. Second ever vinyl pressing. So I guess this is after the first one. That swirl looks pretty cool though. I remember this album coming out. I remember I liked it at the time. I didn't love it. And I probably haven't listened to it since. So probably won't be picking that one up. I've kind of strayed away from that type of music, definitely. If you're interested, if you're into tiny record players, we have the Beatles, All My Lovin', 3-inch record. Last Record Store Day, they released the Beatles 3-inch record player, 3-inch turntable. So now I guess every Record Store Day, they're going to release another Beatles 3-inch single. So if you are into that, that's there for you. This one's kind of interesting. This is a re-release of I Want to Hold Your Hand, 7-inch single. I think it's an anniversary pressing of the hit single, and this is limited to 10,000 copies, so definitely something that you'll be able to pick up. But to be honest, if you have this in any other version, you know, you're good with that. I don't really see a reason to pick that up. Moving on along here, we have Buffalo Springfield and the Byrds live at Monterey International Pop Festival. This one looks pretty cool. This is a Record Store Day first, again, 3,000 copies. It looks like you're gonna get 2 sets here. Or is it 1 set? I guess it's all of them no, it's 2 sets. All right, together at the same festival. So pretty cool. I know there's connections between those 2 bands, so awesome release if you're into that. Circa Survive. I know this is a metal band, so they're releasing this Descensus, 2,000 copies, Record Store Day first, so it will come out again through Sumerian Records. Very cool. That must be the connection with Asking Alexandria, because I know Asking Alexandria used to be signed to Sumerian Records, so I guess Sumerian has a deal with Record Store Day. Moving on along here, this is probably going to be one of the top selling Record Store Day records, and the reason why I'm probably going to have to get to Record Store Day very, very early. Billie Eilish, and this is Hit Me Hard and Soft isolated vocals, so I guess it's just a vocal album. 25,000 copies. Now, I'm telling you this right now. People, teenagers, Billie Eilish fans, those pop fans that probably aren't into vinyl very much anyway, are going to line up stupid early for this. And there are going to be way too many extra copies of this. They're not going to look at how many copies are available. They're just going to line up stupid early for this. So don't get discouraged if there's a big line of people that look like Billie Eilish fans, because, to be honest, they're probably all just picking up this and leaving. But you know, they always have to stick in those pop releases. This one looks pretty interesting. Jerry Garcia, live, Electric on the Eel, August 29th, 1987, 4,000 copies. This is just one of his live shows, but I really like the set that he played here. I'm not really familiar too much with his...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Okay. Sorry guys, Siri decided to butt into my video. Or not Siri, Alexa decided to butt into my video. Thank you. But I'm seeing a really cool set list here. How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You, Run for the Roses, Harder They Come, Jimmy Cliff song, Tangled Up in Blue. What else is here? Forever Young. So really cool covers on this set. I might have to pick this up as well. 3 LPs. Moving on along here. This one I know one of my friends is really excited for. This 10-inch EP of the Gaslight Anthem. This is live at Park Avenue, 15-year anniversary. Now the quantity is 1,250 copies, but this is a Record Store Day first release. This is the kind of thing that I'm not sure if they're going to re-release as a 10-inch or if they might include it in a wider release. Since it's a live thing, it might be released as a live album, and this will just be the EP for that. In which case, if you're a Gaslight Anthem fan, you might want to pick this one up because this might not be released in this form again. Moving on along here, there's a Whitney Houston release, live album, Isaac Hayes album, B.B. King, live in France. Pretty cool cover there. I like that. Live at the Nancy Jazz Pulsations Festival, 1977. So you're getting prime B.B. King. Very long set list here. Very nice. That's going to be 2,800 copies. Limited edition. Very cool. Next up, now this is another metal EP, Lacuna Coil. All right, I know I have some friends that might be interested in that. 1,100 copies, Record Store Day first. And like I said, these EPs, they may not be released as an EP after Record Store Day. It might be part of a bigger release. So that kind of thing, I might go for the Record Store Day first if I was a fan. Now, I know one of my friends is really into this band, Norma Jean, Wrongdoers, and I've heard that this album is very hard to get or very expensive. So this is a really cool re-release, 2,000 copies. This is a Record Store Day first though, so we'll probably see this again. But first vinyl reissue of this 6th album from Norma Jean, a very heavy metal band, so pretty cool. What do we have here? We have a Trent Reznor release from, it looks like a Movie Challengers, Atticus Ross. Okay, interesting. Probably won't get that. What else do we have here? We have Max Roach, for those jazz fans out there, Deeds Not Words. Again, this is a Record Store Day first, so probably not something that you'd have to rush for, but it's from Kraft. Kraft does really nice work reissuing jazz records. 2,500 copies, 1958 album. This is probably really, really good. So I would definitely get that if you're a jazz fan, at least if not now, then later. This is another one that is going to cause lines to happen at Record Store Day, despite the fact that 30,000 copies are being issued for Record Store Day. This is Olivia Rodrigo, Gut Spilled. I bet you the lines will be wrapped around stores for this. Olivia Rodrigo, along with Taylor Swift, always draw the most people for Record Store Day. Get ready, because this is going to be popular. Especially, those are pretty cool colors for the vinyl. I don't know anything about this album. Reissues. Oh, it's just a reissue. But still, I feel like the fans for these pop artists are so passionate that they'll line up for just about anything. Rolling Stones, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. One of my favorite live albums of all time. Just looks like a regular reissue. Includes a lithograph and obi strip. I probably won't pick this up because I have the original, but pretty cool if you don't have it. 6,400 copies. Next up, Santana, Let the Guitar Play. This looks pretty cool. Featuring Daryl McDaniels from DMC. Interesting, from Run DMC. It looks like this is a special release that he just did for Record Store Day, though, because it says for Record Store Day he teamed up, so this might be special for Record Store Day. Limited edition tie-dye vinyl, probably cool. Actually, do they have a picture of the tie-dye vinyl? I'd love to see what this looks like. No, they don't. Okay, so I guess you'll just have to open it up and see. Moving on along here, we're reaching the end here. T-Rex Tanks, I've never heard of this album. I'm a T-Rex fan, but I've never heard of this. 1,200 copies, originally released in 73. Doesn't look like it has any of his big tracks on it, but this will be reissued again. And last one that I'm going to go through here is one that I pick up almost every record store day. Jazz Dispensary always puts out really cool compilations of jazz from mainly the 70s, but sometimes they kind of go a little after, a little before. But this is the Golden Hour, 4,000 copies, soundscapes of sand-baked sands and cold sea breezes. Just a really cool compilation. I have 2 of these already. I'll probably pick this one up as well. So it looks like that's it, everybody. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to the Record Store Black Friday 2024 list in the comments below, so check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're after this Record Store Day and Record Store Day Black Friday, and you can definitely expect a Record Store Day Black Friday vlog video coming from me, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, everybody, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like and a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time.